Hey guys, it's April. This is day 8 of the 12 days of Christmas in July, and I am doing iron-on. Now we're going to do a little bit of infusible ink. We're going to be doing some coasters, and I have set up one file with 2 sets of coasters in Design Space for you. Now I did not mirror these on the canvas, so don't forget to mirror. It is drawing using the infusible ink pens. I'm pretty sure it looks like I got them to the correct size here. So I went ahead and drew mine. I did not mirror this set. I forgot. It happens. But luckily it doesn't matter with this set because there's no wording or anything on it. So I was good here. I didn't forget to mirror this one. This one got mirrored, and this was a black and white or a solid color drawing. I've gone in and I have changed all of the colors in there to draw in colors for you. I am using the infusible ink pens. I will let you know, you will see once we do this, if this, what is it, butterscotch, comes out bright enough to see on here. We'll find out. So first thing you want to do, if you're using an Easy Press 2, you're going to follow the instructions that I do here. If you're using an Easy Press 1, make sure you go over to Cricut.com and you use the Easy Press guide and select your markers or pens. You select your regular Easy Press. Make sure that you select the right settings. You're going to put this with your Easy Press mat. And then you're going to put a sheet of 80-pound cardstock. This is Cricut cardstock. If you're using Cricut, it is 80-pound, and that's what you need. Okay? Then we're going to put our coasters. Now, I'm going to be using my large Easy Press for this, and that's simply because I'm doing all these coasters. I'm going to do, I think, 4 at a time. I may do 6 at a time. We'll see. I think 4 at a time is best. That way the edges don't hold up and I've got plenty of weight on the center. Now I'm just cutting my package open here. There we go. Probably should have used my True Control knife. Would have been easier. Now they are protected with a piece of paper, so you'll need to remove that. And I'm not touching this. You'll want to take your lint-free cloth, and these come in the... Those come in the sheets packages, so you're good there. I've got one here. We're just going to wipe that down. I'm going to take that paper off. Just going to wipe this one down. Just touching the edges here. So get that out of my way. I have mail. Let's see. And... take that last one out, and we're going to wipe that off. Then you're going to want to take your design, and I think I'll start with these, and you're going to place those face down. That's why mirroring is important. I'm going to place this one face down as well, and it's okay if they're curled up a little bit. It's better. The straighter they are, the better, but it is what it is, right? So we're going to put those face down and protect. I will show photos of the others, but I'm just going to do one set here for you guys. As a matter of fact, I think I will do a red and a green from the other set just so you guys can see the 2 sets. Now I'm using a heat tape that I got off of Amazon because I had it. I've run out of my Cricut, the blue. It's the same thing. It's heat tape, okay? And that's what you need. And you're just going to take some heat tape, a piece of lint, even though, oh, that's plastic off my thing. There we go. You're going to line this up on one edge there, and you're just going to take your tape and fold it over. You're going to secure that down. And you can do all 4 sides if you want. I believe Cricut recommends it. So I'm just going to get this secured. I really didn't want to get into my design, but we'll see if it matters. It may matter, it may not. So we'll do one both ways. See if we can keep from touching the design. I don't think it matters because sometimes we do edge-to-edge design, and I think I did it once before and it didn't affect. But yet, you can't use just any kind of tape. Make sure that your tape is rated, like I am doing this at 400 degrees. So your tape, whatever tape you purchase, they do come in different degrees. And I got that one all stuck on me. Here we go. How about we just do this the easy way? And then line that up. And then we're just going to go around. Yeah. Just want it secure so it's not going anywhere. It doesn't move. You want to handle, you don't want thumbprints and fingerprints all over the surface of your coaster when you're doing this. And that's the reason for the lint-free cloth. Oh, that's cork. That's what's coming off where it's been shipped and stuff. But you don't want that underneath your infusible ink. That's why you want to use those lint-free cloths. Just going to place this one. Like so. Now, make sure you plug in your Easy Press and turn it on. I'm going to move this just so you guys can see because I am using my large one for this. I just like to use my large one when I'm doing infusible ink. So I'm going to select my temp and I'm going to run this up to 400 degrees as recommended by Cricut. And then I am going to get my time and I am going to run that up to 60 seconds. Oops, up, not down. Okay, so now we're just going to wait for that to turn green and set it off to the side to heat up. And we're just going to come back. And we have our mat. Then we have our 80-pound cardstock. And if you don't have 80-pound cardstock, you can use 4 layers of butcher paper. Butcher paper does come in the ink sheets. I get this big roll on Amazon. It was like 10 bucks. So make sure you're just getting the food grade. You don't want the waxed. No waxed. And then you're just going to bring your 4 coasters in. And I'm just going to bring all these in evenly. And see how that is pushed up? I'm going to put another piece of tape on that. Don't want that to be pushed up there. You want it flush and flat on the surface. And I did press that down. There we go. We're just going to run another piece right there. The others are laying pretty flat. I'm happy with those, so we're just going to run with it. Okay. So now we're ready to go with our coasters, waiting on that to heat up. So next you're going to need your design, which is face down on top. You put your mat, your white cardstock, your coaster, then your design face down, then your butcher paper. And I have a sheet, here it is, already cut. And I'm just going to fold it over. Okay, I'm just doubling up. I'm just going to lay it right on the top. Okay, and then the next thing that goes on there is your Easy Press too as soon as that heats up. So as soon as that's heated up, we'll come back and we'll press it. Okay, so our Easy Press is heated up to 400 degrees, and this is not recommended unless you use the the Easy Press mat, which we have. So we're just going to place this on top and not move anything and start our time process. And we're just going to let it sit there for the next 60 seconds. I'm not going to make you guys sit here and watch that countdown. I will be right back. And we're almost through heating. And I just wanted to mention that you do not put any pressure on this when you're doing it. None at all. So we're just going to lift it off. Try not to move anything. And we're going to get rid of that butcher paper. Now you can see some of the imprint on this butcher paper. And that is exactly what it's for. It didn't come through. I doubled it. It didn't come through. You don't want it to come through because if it gets on your platen of your Easy Press, then you are going to transfer and ghost that image onto every project that you do. Hopefully that did not mess that up. Now I'm just going to carefully shift this over and I'm going to move it and we're going to do the second set. Okay guys, we're back. I have the second set taped up. Again, I am covering the entire thing with my butcher paper. I'm going to bring the Easy Press over. I'm going to start my timer. I'm not going to put any pressure on it. I'm just going to let it sit for 60 seconds and then lift it and remove it. Let me go and get the cooled coasters and we will take a peek at those. Okay, and we're going to lift this off gently. I'm going to place it up here and I'm going to power it down. And I'm just going to let this sit. Just going to move the whole thing and let it sit without disturbing it until it cools. And these have already cooled and we're just going to go ahead and unwrap these and hope for the best. I have had some fails. I've had some successes. So I think everybody should try infusible ink. See if you like it or if you don't. You never know unless you try. Just because others like it or don't like it doesn't always mean that you will. Just cut that tape. We're just going to peel this back. How pretty. How pretty is that? Make sure you dispose of those. You don't want to transfer ink to anything if it accidentally gets heated up. Pretty, pretty, pretty. Those are the two solids. And I'm praying on that yellow. I'm not sure about it, but we're going to find out. This was the first time I've used the light colored pens on these. And they're there, but they're not very dark. So I'm not going to suggest that you use that butterscotch. Maybe go with the dark gray instead to make it some silver bells. I might be able to line one up on there and get it, but I don't know. I'll live with it. They're coasters. Not going to hurt anything. I'm not selling them. If I was selling them, that would be a problem. So I know that the yellow isn't going to show up on this one either. It shows, but it's going to be very hard to see. Very hard to see on camera. You could see it. I just think dark gray would be a better choice. Okay? So make sure that you do that on these. But these are perfect. Love, love, love. Let's see if our others are cool enough. You can see that I had some bleeding on this one as well. So you want to make sure you throw that butcher paper away. Do not reuse anything that shows the ink on it. And these are still pretty warm. So we're going to give them some time. But you can see that they are nice and vivid on the solid color. On that one where I used the butterscotch or cornflower, whatever it was, guys, replace that with a dark gray. Or even maybe, if you have this set, maybe even replace it with the something blue. Okay? One of those two colors. And then those areas will show up pretty good. I'll go ahead and change that in the file so you guys aren't tempted to use the yellow like I did. I just thought it would be pretty. hopefully show up gold, but it didn't. Live and learn and experiment. And I'm just putting away my markers. And I will show you an overall photo once we're done. So you guys, let's move on. This is for the exclusive file. I've gone in and changed all the colors for you so that you wouldn't have to do all that tedious work. I will go in and change that yellow color. And we're going to move over to the freebie for the day. Okay guys, I'm back. And this is a freebie file for today's freebies. Actually, well, it's a free file, but it isn't. If you remember, in one of the first few days, we did the We Whisk You a Merry Christmas, and we did the Christmas pie recipe. We did a project with that. I am just taking these apart because I can tie them back together at a later date. I'm just going to cut that and take this off because I didn't have all of my stuff ready before I started my projects. So just wanted to make sure I had everything before I cut those apart and did them. I am using Strip Flock Pro because that's what I like to use on my towels because it's a nice soft velvety feel. I love it for how easy it is to weed. I love it for children's clothes and everything, but it's nice and fuzzy, perfect for your stuffed animals, blankets, quilts. Love Strip Flock Pro. And you can get that at Brilliant Vinyl. There's a link down below. And Matt over at Wonder Bear Designs created these designs for us for this project. So if you go over to Wonder Bear Designs, and there's going to be a link down below and possibly one on your screen, you can click that, go over, and you can get this design for a donation of like $1 to Matt. So I lost my E. It can be a little tricky. I did cut a little deep on mine. Don't cut yours as deep. I changed my blade, and I should have went less pressure. But there is a flocked setting, and that is what I used. If you've got a brand new blade in your machine, you may want to do less pressure as well. This stuff is super easy to weed, guys. It is a Caesar product. But I did cut into my carrier on some areas, so I'm just taking my time. You want to make sure that you get all of your centers out. Don't let anything stick back to your carrier. It is a sticky, pressure-sensitive carrier, so things will stick to it, and those will end up on your iron-on. Need my tweezers for that little guy. Don't want it stuck to anything. Oh, yeah. And I'll just tweeze these out, maybe easier. Don't even need the weeding tool, it'll come right out. So we have I think Matt did 4 designs. You can pick from whatever design you want. I was going to do this in colors, but I didn't have all the colors of Strip Flock Pro for it. So I'm just going with the red. And I know where my towel was folded here, so I'm just going to kind of guesstimate where the center is. But don't guesstimate, actually do the right thing. Bring it on and press it for 2 to 3 seconds. Get yourself a little crease there. You have to press it anyway. Caesar recommends you do a 2 to 3 second press. Get that moisture out of there. And Strip Flock Pro is applied at 311 degrees if you have a heat press. If you're using your easy press, guys, just 310 will work. 15 seconds. I'm not even, you can place your Teflon sheet right over the top, and we're just going to hit our button. And I'm just going to fingertip pressure on that. I do have my easy press mat under here. And it is a warm peel. Okay. No need to heat from behind or anything like that. I'm just going to ring neck carrier. Love, love, love this stuff. I'm just going to let it cool. Super nice, super easy. It's soft, so when you're washing, it'll get wet and blend in with the towel. Super easy product to use. I'm going to go ahead and weed my second one and press it, and then I will show you guys a picture. But go over to Wonder Bear and get your free designs. He has several free designs to choose from, and donate $1 and get your Christmas pie ones if you're doing these projects with me. And there you go, guys. We have both of them done. These are the 2 designs that I chose from the 4 that Matt did. So get the ones that you like, put them together with your whisk, and they make cute, great gifts to go along with the pie recipe and that box. You guys have a wonderful day. I'll catch you on the conclusion with the iron-on pillowcase for exclusive patrons, Ko-fis, and YouTube members. You have a great day. Hey guys, this is the conclusion of day 8 of Iron On. This is for my monthly supporters on Ko-fi and Patreon and YouTube memberships. We're going to do an iron on this pillowcase. I got this, I believe, at Michael's or Hobby Lobby. It's an 18-inch pillow form already made. And I just wanted to go over some tips and tricks. I'm going to go ahead and heat up my Easy Press. But the trick that I do, and I do this with shirts too, is I just come in and I fold that in half and make sure that it looks really good. And give that a good press, okay? You want to get all the wrinkles out anyway, so you've got to pre-press it, so why not pre-press your crosshairs in there? So I line up the corners and make sure, don't worry about your zipper folds because those are going to fold in. Just make sure your corners meet up, and then you press a good line across, okay? If you're doing a t-shirt, you're going to fold the shoulders and make sure the shoulders, the top of the shoulders are even, and that's where you're going to press across. Then you're going to open it up and you're going to fold it the other way. And with a t-shirt, that would be matching up the points under the arms. And then you're going to give that a quick little press. Don't need much, just a little. Just enough to keep your crosshair from this side and make one here. That's going to give you the center of your design. Now I want my zipper to be at the bottom, so I'm going to make sure I turn it around and get it that way. Then we're going to go over to the Easy Press guide, and I'm just going to check the temp on this and make sure that I am applying my foil, because I am using foil iron-on from Cricut. And I'm using the Very Merry sampler. This has a sheet of the red, the green, the gold, and the silver foils in it. So let me check my temp, and I'll be right back with you guys. Okay, so I am back, and I checked my temps. My temps are 290 on a cotton canvas, which what this is, I believe. It's going to be close. And I am using my mat, so I want to make sure that I select that or a towel. Now, make sure, this is an SVG that I created for you guys. Make sure that you go over to the website and download it, and then upload it into Design Space. And if you have problems or don't know how to do that, let me know. If I have a video, or I can walk you through. Once you've done that and you've cut it, make sure you cut it on the foil iron-on, and it should cut perfectly fine. You're just going to weed it. And weeding means, for those of you who are new, to remove the areas that you do not want to iron on. So we're just going to go through here and start pulling away that area. Just taking it away. And you have a pressure-sensitive backing, so if you accidentally pull a piece up that isn't supposed to be up, you can press it back down, okay? But you want to be careful with that when you're doing foil because it kind of stretches and it can lose its luster a little bit when you do that. So just make sure you're removing the correct areas and you'll be fine. I'm just going to take out all of those areas. And then I have another little tip and trick for you guys onto how to line this up. So let's get that out of there. Okay, and then once you have weeded, make sure that you go through and you double check, flip it over and double check that you have taken out everything that's supposed to be taken out, okay? And now I am just going to fold this over, and the way that I do this is I take the edge of my design to the other edge of the design, not the paper, because the paper can be off, okay? But I take one edge of the design to the other edge, and I pinch my carrier sheet, okay? Let me get a pinch on there. And then I come over to the bottom and I do the same thing. Just give it a little pinch. Okay, so I have a little pinch right there and one right there. That looks kind of off. I'm going to double check. I'm pinching it in the areas. There we go. I was a little off. Pinching it in the areas where there's no iron on, okay? Ignore my pinch there. And then I know that that is going to be the center. But I'm going to get my other pieces here. Now these pieces I can put on where I want, but I'm going to use my mini for that. So if you're layering, foil is not really a layering material and you don't want to overheat it because it will lose its luster. This piece is going to go right here. So I'm going to kind of stick those together. But first I'm just going to do my little fold. Just a little pinch on there, not much. So that I know that I'm getting that on that line. And I'm looking, I want to make sure that I've got it almost centered or centered. Not almost, but centered. And I always like to use a visual. So I'm just going to measure. I have about 5.5 inches there. And 5.5 there. That was pretty good. I couldn't do that again. So now I'm just going to make sure that I've got that lined up and that lined up on those crosshairs. And I'm more concerned about the vertical than I am the horizontal. If it's a design where it needs to be horizontally put in line, that's when you're going to use this line. But vertical. But I'm using this design goes, let me start over here. Because my design is horizontal, I'm going to use my vertical line to line it up, okay? Because I want that to be straight. If it's going the other way, if your design is vertical, you want to use your horizontal lines to line it up. Whew, that could get confusing, right? So I'm just going to press that down, and then I like to use my Teflon sheet, and you can get these on Amazon, wherever, and I'm just going to, Amazon, you can get them at your vinyl supply stores. I want to make sure that I am on my mat, okay? And because I don't have the extra large mat and it won't fit on here, I'm going to do this at a diagonal so that I can get that whole thing on the mat. And I won't have to worry about it. So there we are, we're ready. We've got it on there. Just going to double check that it didn't shift on me while I was moving it. Looks pretty good. And we're going to press it for 30 seconds. Now Cricut recommends pressing this for 30 seconds and then flipping it over and doing another 15. I'll lift that off. I do not. I'm going to pull this away. Foil is a cold peel. Do not attempt to peel it when it's warm. It'll get all wrinkly unless you want that effect. Because that effect can be cool on some shirts. I've seen some gold done that way on black and it looked pretty good. even though it messed up the shine. So it just depends. If you want it to be nice and shiny, you want to let that cool. So I'm going to let this cool before we peel it. I'm not going to make you guys sit here and watch, so I'm going to pause until this is cooled. Okay, guys, I'm back. You're not going to believe what I did. I did just that. I caught the edge of my carrier. I was brushing it while it was cool, while it was cooling, and accidentally did it. I have a dot that didn't stick. So I'm just going to take my mini, and it could be the coating on this too. I usually have zero trouble with foil. It could be this case. This is not a Cricut case. Just going to put that out there. It is not a Cricut case. And it may have some coating on it that's not wanting to let stuff stick. But I'll press it again, so we're going to be okay. Then I'm going to take this piece, and it fits in there and loops right on to that. Now that I have that down, I want to replace this so I can protect the whole iron-on. Since mine isn't sticking really well to this, I want to press it again. Even though it may mess up the foil, I'm still going to do it. Just because it's better messed up a little bit like that than it is if it's coming off. And I really believe this has some kind of sketch grading on it. Which if it does, you should wash first. We're going to cover that and we're going to press it for another 30 seconds. That would be overheating, but I'm going to live with it. Not Cricut's fault, because I have used a ton of foil. Tons. It's my favorite Cricut iron-on, and I've never had an issue till now. And it is a cold peel, but I'm going to peel this warm since it wasn't sticking. Just to check it. I'm going to set that carrier. Going to wait on that bell. Maybe that will show you guys the difference in waiting. But it's still pretty. Still nice and shiny. You can see the imprint of the pillowcase under it. Foils are really thin and really finicky. I don't mind that on foils. Anytime you're working with a thin one, then you are going to see the imprint of the fabric behind it. Okay? Foils are just like that. The finer your weave, the better foil is. Just gonna let it keep cooling. There we go. And then we're going to peel that one. Gently peel it back. Okay. And maybe you can see. See how bright and shiny that is? And see how this one's dulled a little? This one's overpressed. This one is perfect. Okay? So that leads me to believe there's something on here. Next, I have my little holly, and that's what I was saying. I am going to place this on here, but I'm going to use my mini so I don't have to keep heating that. So that's perfectly fine right there for me. I'm just going to cover it, and I'm going to take my mini and count to 10, and that should be good. It is a pillow. We're not going to be wearing it, so it should be fine. I'm just going to gently, it is cold peel, but because of my fabric, I am peeling warm. So if you're having an issue with sticking, you may want to try that too. I'm just going to place that down, and then we're just going to press again. Just going to count to 10. There we go. And I'm just going to cool that, and then we'll peel it. Hopefully my reds will match. Hopefully I got them to match at least. This is a really cute design. I really do like it. And you can get this font. If you're interested in this font, it is the Brilliant font. It's in the Vintage Font Bundle over at Creative Market. There's a link down below. If there's not, let me know. I'll be happy to get you that link. If you shop my link, I will earn a small commission. It's very small, but it's a commission. So thank you for shopping my links. Okay, and we're just going to peel that. Super pretty. But you can see the difference in the shines of the green and the gold based on overheating and not overheating. So that concludes this tutorial. I will catch you guys on the next one, day 9. We're going to be working with some vinyls and doing some signs and some frames. So I will catch you tomorrow, day 9.